box shape. We're going to pop our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath the hips, nice wide stable base. You can angle your hands inwards a little bit if you struggle with keeping those elbows nice and soft and sticking out to the sides. Then we're going to lower the head, lift the spine. Breathe however you want to. I'm not going to go to town on the breathing. And then lift your head to the sky and drop your belly to the floor. So breathe how it feels comfortable. But you can if you want. Inhale as you lift the spine. Exhale as you drop the belly. So keep making it a bit bigger. And just taking note of all the areas that feel tight as you take that movement. So it could be the shoulders, it could be down the back, it could even be when you stretch those tummy muscles. And just make sure that you're not feeling any pain in that lower back as you take your belly towards the floor. And then we're going to start to look for the bit in the middle where you feel like you're in your neutral spine. And then once you've found that position, so it shouldn't feel like you're sticking your belly down, shouldn't feel like you're taking the spine to the sky, we're going to take one hand up to the sky, look at where your hand goes, and then we're going to thread it like a needle through the gap between your arm and your leg. So if we do 5 of those all together, keep opening up the chest nice and wide at the top, reaching through, opening up the shoulders, another 3, just keep breathing, and last one, and then open up to finish. Stretching and opening that chest, and then bring your hand back down and change sides. Same again. So hand to the sky, look at where it goes, thread that arm through the gap, look at where your hand goes, and another 4 of the same. Opening that chest a little bit wider each time. Keep breathing. And one more, nice big, slow one. All the way up to the top at the end, and then back to the middle. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Give your shoulders a bit of a shake off, and then we're going to take it forward onto the belly into a quad stretch. So you can rest your head on your hands, take one foot by the lacy part of the shoe or the top of the foot, back of the trousers or sock, wherever you can reach, and just push those hips in towards the floor, keeping the knees together till you feel that nice stretch in your thigh. Just relax your breathing. A few more seconds there, and then slowly release, change sides, exactly the same again. So rest your head down, knees together, push the hips forward, and keep breathing. And then slowly release that leg there. We're then going to pop the forearms onto the floor and just bring your chest up, take your head back, sink your hips down to get that nice stretch in the front of the tummy. Again, just try not to crush that lower back area, don't push it too far. And then relax your head down a bit, bring your hands back a bit, dig in your toes, and roll back to your child's pose. So you're lengthening the spine, lengthening the arms, and opening the shoulders. Perfect. Okay, from there we're going to come into the seated position. So take your legs out nice and long in front of the body. And stretch the hamstrings while we're there, it'd be rude not to. So legs nice and long, back nice and straight, pull your shoulders back. If you struggle with posture, hands behind the back to push forward, or just relax those hands forward and just try and take your belly closer to your legs till you feel that bite down the back of the legs. So just hold that position, feel that stretch there, keep breathing. Try and keep the feet nice and flat as well as if they're against a wall, and push your heels out, pull your toes back towards your face to get it in the calves as much as the hamstrings. Then take the stretch off, take it back on again, same again, a little bit deeper. And then slowly sit up nice and tall. We're going to bring the hands up into a nice wide V shape, and then squeeze the elbows as if you're trying to put them in your back pockets. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and then slowly release up to the top. So if you want to breathe the way the textbook says, we're going to exhale as we squeeze down and inhale as we release. Perfect. So nice and slow, big squeeze, feel those muscles switching on, and then slowly releasing back up. We haven't had much of a focus on the tummy muscles yet, but make sure you are holding those tummy muscles on in the correct way. Okay, last one. Big squeeze down, pushing out of the chest, squeezing the shoulders back, perfect. And then slowly stretch up to the sky, bring your hands down and roll out shoulders. So we're going to have a bit of a rest from the shoulders and move on to the hips and a bit of mobility for the core. So I want you to take yourself nice and long, arms to the sky, chin to the chest. We're going to roll down, working the tummy muscles on the way, just fighting gravity, holding on to those core muscles if you can. All the way down. And then we're going to sweep the arms round to the side of the body, slide your knees up and roll those hips side to side. So there's a few options for this one. You can keep the feet down to make it a bit easier, or you can lift those feet up for more of a challenge and a bit more work in the core. So just use your shoulders and your arms as an anchor as you roll those hips side to side. Keep your core engaged as well, and just feel the body just stretching, mobilising, and maybe a little bit of work in those tummy muscles. Okay, make yourself even, then come back to the middle, and I want you to pop your feet down to the floor, rest one ankle against the knee, onto the same position, or you can go to like a cactus if you prefer. And we're going to go for 5 rolls, all the way over and all the way back. So we're trying to keep that knee pushed out to the side, still keeping the shoulders and the upper body anchored to the floor, tummy muscles engaged, and just breathe in as we roll those hips. So a couple more. Just look up at the ceiling, keep your neck nice and relaxed. Same on the other side when you're done with those. Just switching the legs over, push your knee out to the side and roll those hips again, side to side. You might feel a bit of pulling down the sides of the torso, down the side of the leg. But as long as it's not agony, just keep rolling through. If it feels like a nice stretch, slow it down a little bit. Okay, a couple more to make sure we've done 5 on each side. Try not to speed up compared to what you did on the other side. And then come back to the middle and give those knees a nice squeeze into your chest and give your back a roll. Okay, stretch your legs out nice and long again. We're going to make it nice and easy to get up, so hands forward, chin to the chest, and then exhale as you roll up. If that's something you struggle with, you can push up with your hands for a bit of extra assistance. And then we're going to come to another shoulder exercise called the square. So we've got 90 degrees at each elbow. We're going to squeeze one arm back, look at where it goes, pause for a second, slowly release and change sides. So squeezing the arm back, looking at where it's gone, and trying to keep the other arm where you lift it. That's perfect. So we don't need to get hung up on counting them, but we do need to make sure we do both sides the same. So just taking note of the side you started on. Try and keep your core switched on as well. Squeeze that shoulder back. Exhale through the bit that hurts the most. And inhale when you feel like you're releasing. Just try and fight that rotation of the body, keeping that arm fixed where you left it. One more each side. And then back to the middle. Perfect. Roll out those shoulders. And then we're going to go down again and we're going to stretch off the chest this time and the shoulders. So make it challenging with the hands high, make it easy with the hands forward, chin to the chest, roll yourself backwards nice and slow, fighting gravity. Anchor those arms again, so nice wide stable position. Roll those hips over to one side, and then you're going to stack the hips on top of each other. So I'm just having a wiggle because I feel like I'm behind on the machine. So knees on top of each other, hips stacked, palms together. And then we're opening and closing that chest, following that moving arm like a book. So we want 5 on each side. 2. Try and anchor yourself to that position where you started. And make each movement a little bit bigger from there. And last one. And then once you've done all 5 out, 5 back, I want you to draw a rainbow over your head, tracing the fingertips along the floor, taking it all the way out till you get to that scarecrow position, and then all the way back in. And again, we're doing 5 of those, so nice, big, line along the floor, opening up that chest, slowing it down when you feel it pulling, and then just trailing those fingers back into the start point again. But we're stretching through both movements, the out and the back in. None of it's a transition. So the last few on this side. If you struggle with counting these, use your fingers. So then we're going to swing over, just swing your legs over to the other side. And then we're going to do exactly the same again. So your knees are stacked, feet are together, hips are stacked, upper body's nice and long, and then we're opening like a book again, all the way out. Open up that chest, gluing those legs into that position, and closing back over. This one you probably won't feel as much of a stretch on the way back in as you do on the rainbows. I'm getting the counting fingers out. So that's 3, 4. Make the last one the best one yet. Really open up that chest. And 5. Perfect. Then we're tracing those fingertips along the floor, following it with your eyes, all the way out for a nice big rainbow, stretching, open up your chest, and then nice and slowly all the way back in. So when you feel it pulling, slow down, because that's where it needs to stretch and release. Try not to let your hips roll with the movement. Try and anchor them into position so you're really lengthening your torso away from your hips. And just keep breathing nice and relaxed. Last 2. Final one, don't rush this one, get as much out of it as you can. Really pulling away from that arm and those